got back from a trip up to the Victorian High Country, and I was able to take the truck to one of my bucket list items, if you like, from a photography point of view, and that is up at Woods Point. But what I didn't quite get about that photo was just how easy it was to get there. I wasn't expecting anything too over the top as far as four-wheel driving tracks go, but I wasn't expecting just a heap of kilometres worth of dirt winding road and lots of dust, so I've got to clean the dust filter out at some point. But it got me thinking, what are the better tracks in the Victorian High Country to do that aren't insane, but they're also not boring? I didn't actually go camping this time when I was up there. I stayed at the Stockyard Creek accommodations there. It's like a homestead there. Some friends of mine had it rented out, and I went and just spent a couple of nights with those guys. And it's a very comfortable place to stay. It is expensive, but it is generally for larger groups. It's got the whole fully appointed kitchen that's pretty well off the grid. I think there's a phone line there that runs and works, sometimes, not all the time necessarily, but it's got some mod cons. It's got showers, toilets, kitchen and beds. But all the wonderful things that come with the Victorian High Country, the mountains, the greenery, the creek running through it, it's just a great place to stay. But when we went to Woods Point, I was expecting just a little bit more four-wheel driving than what we did. We did a little bit when we did some sightseeing, if you like. There's a place on that property that we wanted to go and have a look at. And on the way there, my mate's 79 series dual cab, it got stuck in a washout. But when I pulled him out, the clutch went on the car. It started smoking. And I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to need a new clutch soon. She was burning, getting dug out of that hole. Certainly a good smell. I did a update on the exhaust on the vehicle a little while ago. When we did this, the engineers that did it said you're going to want to replace the clutch before you do any tuning to the car, or you may need to do it even before you do any tuning, because we've added a bit more power with the exhaust. The clutch may well fail. It's still the factory clutch at 100,000 Ks on a 2012 76 series, so it's going to fail at some point. And on the weekend it started to fail just by that little bit of reverse torque that I needed to pull him out of that drain. So clutch is absolutely on the cards very, very shortly. Need to take this in next week, get the injectors checked before I go get the tune and the clutch done. So that'll happen. I'll video that for you guys as well. But what I wanted to ask is what your places are. I haven't explored the High Country too much in great detail. I've done the basic stuff. I've done to Craig's Hut and some of the other huts like Fry's Hut and stuff, but then none of them are really like what you would describe as four-wheel driving tracks. They're pretty well just gravel roads. But I don't like taking this thing to a place where I'm going to damage it, nor do I want to just do stuff that I can do down our roads here. Our roads are all mostly just gravel roads. So what are some of your favourite spots in the Victorian High Country, or in Victoria for that matter, to go four-wheel driving and camping? I am not someone who's going to put the vehicle or the people in it at risk just for the sake of doing this wonderful obstacle. I was doing that sort of thing when I was younger with armoured vehicles, things that don't usually break too much when you take them off over knife edges and things like that. But what sort of tracks around Victoria, in the High Country perhaps, that are not crazy but not tame? What do you think? I've seen a few on the maps, and the Victorian High Country is a massive place. What do you explore? There were a few shortfalls with the vehicle over the weekend in some of the places that we went. The tow bar bottomed out a number of places as the back end got down through washouts and stuff. So the tow bar is probably something I'll take off in future trips and just leave it in the vehicle. There's no suspension lift on this car. I'm undecided if I'm going to do anything with the suspension at all, to be honest. And that's primarily because most of the driving and travelling that I do is around here, where we've got to look an awful long way to find a hill, let alone something you're going to need to lift your vehicle for. If I go to the High Country more and more and more, it may well be something I end up doing. And at that point, I'm going to be asking you guys what suspension you've put on your 76 if you do actually drive one. But for now, the suspension will stay pretty well as it is. There's not much else I'm going to do to the vehicle. I picked up another solar panel because the one I've got up there is just, it takes up a massive amount of real estate. And to be honest, I don't really need a big solar panel up there anymore. I've got 150 amps of battery, lithium battery in there. The largest solar panel was helpful when I had just 100 amp battery in there. I've had it in the shed here for days and days and days without starting the vehicle, just with the fridge running, and it's only dropped a couple of percentage points on the battery. So I'm not too concerned about having a smaller solar panel up there. And what it enables me to do is put the MaxTrax back up onto there. I went to a few different places on the weekend, over the week I should say, to try and find a solution to mount the MaxTrax on the back wheel, on the spare wheel carrier. I see people doing it, I just don't know how they do it. I know MaxTrax makes one, but I couldn't find one anywhere in any of the towns that I went through where they sell that sort of stuff. Someone at ARB sold me this Treads thing. It just didn't bloody work. I was spewing that I went there. The first ARB that I went to, I went in there and I asked them I explained what I was trying to do by putting the MaxTrax on the rear wheel. They sold me this thing made by Treads. They said it will work. Once I got to my lunch stop, I opened it up. And I was like, this doesn't go on there at all. It just doesn't. It's meant for the roof racks for Treads to mount. It's not at all what I was trying to do. When I got to Mansfield, I ducked into the ARB there as well, showed them what they were sold. They just said, no, that's not going to do what you want. And they tried to help me as much as they could, but it just wasn't a solution that I should have been sold, to be honest. So what I'm doing is I got a smaller solar panel, and it's going to take up less real estate on the roof. I'll move it around, move the water tank around. The water tank is just bloody awesome. It came in so handy up there. And so once I'll move it, I'll put the MaxTrax holders back up there. There's less weight up there with a smaller solar panel. I'm still under the 100K limit that I need for this roof rack, that I want to keep for this roof rack. Let me know what your thoughts are as far as the tracks in the Victorian high country go. What are some of the really good tracks away from like Sheepyard Flat and things like that, where all the tourists go with their caravans? What's some of the better spots to head to up there? I'm very keen to explore it. It's a massive area, massive area, but I'm very keen to explore it, especially with the standard suspension I have on this vehicle. And I'll shoot it for you guys and see what's up there. All right, that's it for today. Catch ya.